Now, how many remember this one? Why fight it? Preflight it with FlightCheck. Now, this is an old one, going a little bit retro here. I don't know when this was from exactly, probably about 99, probably even earlier, I think even like 97, 96. But anyway, that brings me to the next subject of today, which is a little letter I got, a nice direct mail piece. Nice to see that. Not only was it a direct mail piece, it was personalized, and it came from no other than Xerox. And you can see here the personalization. It says, you know, here's the book that could really help Markzware do more with less. And we see the date there, July 22nd, 2009. What's interesting, I just got it today, about the 20th of August. Today's the 21st, so it took a little while to get here for whatever reason. But anyway, when you read the content and see the book, you'll see that's not so bad. It says in there, no doubt, it's tough times for everyone in the industry, and this book's really going to help you. And I must say, it's quite a nice little book, and I recommend you sign up for it. I think I signed up on Xerox's webpage some months ago, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, it might have been quite a long time ago. But I believe it was this year. It's written by, these gentlemen here, and edited and forwarded by Peter Muir, who we know also wrote some pre-flighting books. And what's interesting, you just turn right in there to chapter 1, and it's basically all about, preparing your files for the service provider, for the print provider. And it's a great book. It's a great book. It talks about all different elements, how to create proper postscript. Yes, that's right. It gets in the postscript there. This got me thinking. These icons look a little dated, but the rest of the information is all really still quite valid. For instance, we get into the scanning resolution. Here we see a great, once again, another pre-flight issue. Here's the high-res image, and there below it is how it looks low-res, all fuzzy. Might be hard to see, on this little camera. But that's what happens when you use a low-res 72 dpi image instead of a proper 300 dpi high-resolution image. And they get into design issues, which of course, gets in all the different spread and choke and all those type of bleed issues, which are very important. And then I was quite happy to get into the Chapter 4, the printing issues. No, sorry. Yeah, that's important as well, particularly if you have a iGen or another digital press. What really got me was Chapter 6, the pre-flight section. They got a whole section there just on pre-flight. And, we see this guy here just freaking out, Probably the pre-flight operator. Talks about manual pre-flighting, good postscript, etc., etc. But then what's nice of all, they mention Markzware. FlightCheck. So that was quite nice, but once again, on closer examination, I noticed this is, of course, didn't take even really close examination. This is an old screenshot. Version 4.5. We're on version 6, almost coming out, 6.5 of FlightCheck Professional with CS4 and Quark 8 support, which everyone's been waiting for. And again, how to create a PDF file, and should you send your native files in or not. And we're talking about Express 5, creating a print-ready file, etc., etc. And then once again, the book should be titled actually Pre-Flight, because here we go on page 67, Reasons Output Fails. Missing font, graphics problems, basically all of your general pre-flight issues, image, color, space, etc., etc. So it was all quite interesting, and it got me thinking, well, wait a minute. The letter says July 2009 from the Senior Vice President Valentin Govarts of Production and Graphic Arts, Xerox Europe. So what's going on here? Well, if you look real closely down here, you'll see the print date is 2005. It'd be hard to see that. 2005, copyright date, Xerox Corporation. Printed on a Xerox iGen 3 at 1110 digital production press on 07 of 05. So printed right there in 2005. And at first I was a little bit shocked. And then I realized, it's not that long ago. It's 4 years ago. But most of this information is still valid. Of course, the postscript part you just replace with creating a print-ready PDF, which they also cover in here. But the general problems, the general pre-flight issues, the general issues that face digital printers are the same today as they were in 2005, and they were basically the same in 2005 as they were when in 1997-96 when we had one of our first T-shirts. It's the same basic things: missing fonts or non-embedded fonts, low-res images, improper use of graphics, improper use of color spacing, etc. So what's great about Xerox, what they're doing here, times are tough. People have to be a little more frugal, a little bit think outside the box, or maybe even think a little bit more inside the box, and use stuff in the boxes like this older data here. Repurposing data, in this case, is what Xerox is doing, and taking advantage of it, and making me quite happy because it was quite interesting read to flip through this, and I think you will like it as well. I'll see if I can find a download link. It's probably available as download somewhere and post it. So that's all I wanted to bring to your attention today. This little Friday morning story for you. Hope you have a great weekend, and don't forget to check out our blogs, markzware.com/blogs. We have a lot of fun and entertaining and educational information over there. And once again, this is David Dilling signing out from Markzware. Have a great day.